So cutting it on fabric, I've placed out all the patterns like this. Like I said, you're not adding any seam allowance because we already added all the seam allowance we need on the pattern. So that's it. So we just cut out exactly the same thing with the pattern. So for the middle front, always notch the underbust line, so it will help you when you're sewing your cup. So with this, I will just bend it this way, and then I will notch that part. You do the same thing on the lining. These are Bustier, and I have cut it on the fabric. Okay, so this is the front bodies, okay, and this is the back bodies. So now you remember to do all your notches, okay, so that it will help you when you're sewing them. So I'll take it to the machine now, and I'll join. Because of the notches, I'll know this is the middle back, so this is the front side, and I added a little interface here. So I'll just sew out the zipper allowance, and then I'll bring in the back bodies and sew it all this way, all the way from the hem to this part, okay, like this. And I'll do the same thing to the front bodies. So this is the center front, the middle front, and note the notch. I'll bring it to the notch here and then sew it this way. That will help me to have a good cup of the blouse, like that. So exactly what I do to the fabric is the same thing I will do to the lining. Okay. And this is the circle part of the sleeves. So now I use 360-degree flare to cut this part of the sleeve, and when I am sewing it to the lining, I'll be using this 1-inch crinoline. I'll use it at the edge and sew it all around the hem of the circle. To cut this yoke for the bustier, I'll be using this net, okay, and because I want to make it unfold, I want to make the front and the back pieces to be unfold, like double. So I'll be folding this into 4. I'll fold it this way, and I'll double it again, like this. So that's how I'll be cutting on it. So I folded it, and I'll bring the yoke. This is the front part, and this is the neck, and this will be the folded part. So I'll place it like this and pin. So remember, when I cut it from I cut the other side of it, the down part of it, I didn't add any allowance. So I'll be adding 1 inch. So that will serve for the joining the yoke to the main blouse, and the 1 inch will serve 1/2 inch for this yoke and 1/2 inch for the down part for the main blouse. So you can go ahead and mark that out. And I'll do the same thing to the back bodies. Okay, so I'll just place it like this and pin. And I'll add 1 inch like I did to the front bodies to this yoke part of the blouse. So when I finish marking that, I'll use my scissors now to cut it. I finished cutting it and this is how it looks like. So I'll remove the pins that I use. And because there are two here, so I'll be using one to turn the other one. Okay, one will serve as a facing. So I'll just sew it around the neck and that will be for the turning. Okay, and the same thing to the back bodies, to the back yoke. So I'll use this part. I will not be adding zipper to this part because I'm not using invisible zip. So I'll just use this two pairs for both sides of the back pieces. So I'll use one as a facing, turn the neck and the zip part. Turning the neck, this is what it looks like. So at this point, I'll bring in the back bodies. And this part is for the back body, so I'll bring the two like this. And I'll arrange it this way. Pinning it. And I will set this aside and bring in the front bodies. These are front bodies. I use gum to insert the black cup, okay? So I'll bring in the yoke this way and then align it to follow the sweetheart that we already have here. And then I'll take it to the sewing machine and sew it this way and this to this point. Now I notch where the yoke will stop. So that's where we'll have the armhole. Same with this other side. So after sewing the yoke to the bodices like this, you will take the measurements, more like confirming the measurement, the bust measurement. You measure it across 26 inches and then you take it to the back bodies to complete the measurements. So I have 15 inches here and I will subtract the actual bust measurement from the 50 inches that I have. The actual bust measurement is 45, so 50 minus 45, that gives us 5. I will divide that by 4 and that will be for the seam allowance. So I'll do the same thing to the waist, across the waist and across the hip. So that we will do to the fabric and the lining, and the next thing will be to turn the fabric with the lining. Have done the side seams and this is it. So I went ahead to join the shoulders and the next thing I will have to turn it with the lining. So this is the lining. The only difference is that we don't have the yoke part, okay, that we use knit. So it's just the main blouse that we have the lining for. So I did all the seaming. So I will now open the zipper allowance that I sew. Opening it like this, I will bring it to the right side. Now the right side facing the right side, okay, like this, and I'll take it to the zipper allowance here, and then I'll bring this. Now mind you, you make the neck part to correspond with the neck part, and then you bring it this way and you sew it from this edge to the hem like this. And then when you're done with both sides, you do the same thing to the other side of the zipper, and then you use the lining to sew it like this all the way to this other end and turn it inside out and top stitch. You do the same thing to turn the neck, okay? When you're turning the neck goes in this way, and you will not exceed when you're sewing. You don't exceed the seam that you already have here, so you can use like 1/4 inch all the way. So and then you take it to this way. When you get to the armhole, you turn it and top stitch, and then you do the same thing to this other neck part. You make the sweetheart to correspond, and then The net has to be inside, and then you sew it this way and this way. Ensure that the net does not come in between. So you're just sewing this allowance, you do that and you top stitch. So I'll take it to the machine now and do that, and we'll come back to fix the sleeves. So this is the blouse. I have hemmed it and I gave it a good press both at the hem and at the neck, and then I matched, and then this is the armhole. So the next thing I'll do now is to insert the sleeves. For the sleeves, it has the flare parts and the basic sleeve. So if you don't have any idea, I already have a tutorial on basic sleeve on my channel. So I turned the fabric, the circles I cut is a 360-degree flare. I cut it with the lining and I used crinoline to turn it. Now, I did not top stitch on the crinoline. I simply just pushed it inward some more. That's why we have this length of the crinoline. So I'll insert this face to the armhole. Now, because it's a circle, I didn't cut anywhere, so you can just take it at any point, and then you notch the midpoint of the sleeve of the armhole. You take it to the midpoint and then you notch. So you do the same thing to this side, and you insert the circle first to that armhole. Okay, like I said, you can just choose any point to place it. Okay, so the circle will go around the armhole like this, and if you have excess, you can pleat it around, or you do tiny gathers. So after inserting the circle, okay, pin it, you get another midpoint like this and notch. And then take it to the side seam of the blouse like this and pin. So the circle this way will go around the armhole, and if you have excess, you can do tiny pleats, or you do a little gathers, where you have the excess. So the circle will come in first, and then the basic sleeve. Now for the basic sleeve, I already have a tutorial on my channel on how to cut a basic sleeve. So this is a basic sleeve. I've already turned it with a lining. Now for the basic sleeve, you'll notice that the front part is always ½ inch lesser than the back cuff. So that means one must go to the right and the other the left. So for this, it will go to this side because this is the front side. So it will go to this part that we've already inserted the circle. So you will get the midpoint of this basic sleeve as well. And then you take it to that midpoint of where you place the circle. At this point, you can choose to finish sewing the circle first, so it will be easy for you, but this will be the same procedure you do to the both side of the sleeves, to the two armholes. And we have our bustier blouse. So if this video adds any value to you at all, give me a thumbs up, comment, share. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video.